Welcome to the Chain Gang Sports Show. I'm Tom with my co-host Brent. We want to thank you guys for joining us again here on the Chain Gang podcast, recorded at the Flagler Voice Podcast Studio, being powered by U.S. News and Entertainment Network. Morning, buddy.
Good morning. How are you doing, Tom?
I'm doing well. You?
Excellent.
Yeah, so we had a good first show, and I think we ham and egged, so it's the yin and yang. Here we go. Hopefully we take it, continue the success. What do you think of yesterday's games? I thought they were a nightmare.
Yeah, it wasn't too fun watching those games, especially me being a Detroit fan. I still was holding out hope that we'd still maybe have an outside shot of making the playoffs, but
that ship sailed.
I'll tell you what though, Detroit they're not a playoff team. They don't belong in the playoffs.
No, Minnesota without JJ McCarthy, what was it, Rosenbaum, whatever the quarterback. It was bad. Goff had 5. When Goff has a bad game, he definitely goes all out when he has a bad game.
Yeah, I guess when feast or famine with him. Five turnovers for Jared Goff. And I think Gibbs finished the game with 28 rushing yards.
Yeah, well, listen, you got to get touches. But I was looking at the injury report before the game, and Detroit was missing 3 offensive linemen.
Yeah,
I mean that's a huge deal. Decker, we're talking about all pros.
Yeah, and the thing is, they don't have the depth right now either because their 2023, 2024 draft classes were horrible. Hendon Hooker was one of those draft picks, and he's not even on the team anymore.
Yeah,
so they just have they don't have any depth pieces right now. So Detroit, that wasn't a great game. The Cowboys won. And,
Cowboys, Commanders, just not, Dak I had a feeling Dak was going to have a Dak game. I mean, he did.
307 yards passing.
Yeah, 3 touchdowns. He definitely, Dak is a top quarterback in the league. You can say whatever you want. The Cowboys ran the ball a little bit, but the Commanders are a shell of themselves. What the team we saw last year, this is, talk about disappointment.
Yeah, one thing I didn't know, I heard earlier that Washington was one of the oldest teams in the NFL. I figured with Jaden Daniels, they would be kind of young. So I guess in the offseason, they're going to have a lot of retooling. They have a lot of contract decisions coming up in the offseason for them. But let's be honest, they don't look very good right now. So.
Yeah, no, definitely not. And I didn't know that either, about the oldest. That's pretty bad.
Yeah, I saw that this morning on ESPN.
Yeah. I tell you one thing, the thing that didn't surprise me was the Chiefs.
Right,
even though, and the quarterback looked good, he reminded me of, he looks like Caleb Williams, but I mean, he had, he couldn't sustain a drive. Denver's defense is good. The reason Denver's, going to be possibly the 1 seed, and they showed that, but you got to give the Chiefs a little credit because they definitely showed that rivalries really exist, and they weren't going to go and give it up easy. They played hard.
Yeah, and, hats off to Kansas City's defense. They played great. They looked like a Super Bowl defense yesterday. Obviously, without Patrick Mahomes, even their backup is out, so I think they were down to the 3rd-string quarterback. But I'm starting to really start to believe in Denver. I'm starting to feel like they have it all to win the Super Bowl. And Bo Nix, man, he might not be the splashiest quarterback, but he is consistent. He does not turn the ball over. And their defense is great. I think their defense is top 3 right now in the NFL.
Yeah, well, and let's talk about, Nix is, like you just said, it's not flashy, but he's dangerous with his legs as well. I mean, the guy gets out of the pocket, and he throws well on the run. I mean, he's legit. I mean, with a defense like that and an offense that can, again, we talked like last week, the trenches, I mean, they can run the ball. I mean, like you said, Kansas City played good defense. Spagnuolo, what'd you expect? I mean, he's going to give you everything he's got until the bitter end, even though they were, obviously out of it.
I guess on the bright side, if you're a Kansas City fan, you can say, hey, we're going to have a better pick come April, possibly. Yeah. I think last time I saw it with that loss, it puts them in the top 10. I've been hearing they're going to try to reach out and draft a running back for next year. So
and the crazy thing is Pacheco and Kareem Hunt. I think that they're adequate running backs.
I believe so too. Yeah, I do. I like both of those guys. I think it's maybe just a little bit with the age. I think they got a little bit of wear and tear on them. I think, but it's Kansas City to me. I feel like the defense is good enough to still be in their dynasty, but the offense, I don't know if Patrick Mahomes needs help at receiver. I know they got Xavier Worthy, but I think Kelsey might be retiring. I think
that looked like to me that looked like a swan song when he was leaving the field. The hugs to everybody, the thing, and then they showed Taylor Swift. I mean, financially, he doesn't have anything to worry about. That's for sure. But he's set for life. Not that he didn't make a bad living, but I mean, it seemed like if you looked at body language, to me, body language said that was it. I think, unless Mahomes, went to him, sat him down, and said, "Hey, man, my knee's I got a brand new knee. Let's try this. Let's just do it one more time." I wouldn't be shocked if he came back for one more year, but I think that's it.
Me neither. And you're right. He definitely wouldn't be coming back for money. I think Taylor Swift's worth over $1.7 billion. But
He's it's like the Tom Brady. What's her name made more than he did.
The other games, we got some big games coming up on Saturday. Big
Texans Chargers.
Texas Chargers. You want to talk a little bit about that? Or?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a great game. The Texans have been on this tear, doing it the way the teams with great defenses do. Just have a quarterback, C.J. Stroud, who's, I think, playing better. Each week he's getting better and better and back to the old C.J. Stroud.
For sure.
Nico Collins is a top receiver, big receiver.
Out of Michigan, time receiver. Yep.
Yeah, and Nick Chubb and they listen. They move the ball. They don't turn it over, and the defense wins the games. I mean, that's the reality of how Houston plays right now.
Yeah, you know what? And just to kind of piggyback off you a little bit, Houston. Nobody's talking about Houston, but they always say, what's that old cliche? Defense wins championships.
Yeah.
Houston has the number one defense in the NFL, number one run defense, number 3, I think, in pass, number 1 overall in points allowed. Houston's going to be extremely hard to beat in the playoffs. I would not want, Houston, I do not think they can win the division. Well, you know what? I take that back. They're a game behind Jacksonville, and they play the Chargers on Saturday. So Houston, it looks like they're gonna get into the playoffs. Don't know if they're gonna win the AFC South. I think Jacksonville, they play Indy on Sunday. So if they beat Indianapolis, I believe they'll secure the AFC South. But Houston is gonna be a tough team to beat in the playoffs.
Yeah, and Jacksonville, they play Indy, who's got Phillip Rivers. I mean, old man Rivers. I mean, you got to give the guy credit for being out there. But come on, let's. He's 0-2, and I don't even know. I think they're going to probably go to Leonard. I think they gave it a shot, and he gave them experience. I mean, I don't know what else, but Jacksonville's got a big game. They've got to beat the Colts. Division rivalry, of course. They're going to come out. It's going to be a good game, but then they end up with the Titans at the end. So they've got a pretty easy schedule to finish it up. So Houston's got to play their best. I mean, everybody's got to win out. That's the reality of what we got left going on. I mean, there's a lot of divisions and a lot of still things that can happen.
Yeah, I think looking at the schedule right now, it looks like Jacksonville, like you just said, it will play Indianapolis, and then if they beat Indianapolis next week, they have Tennessee. Not much of a challenge there, but it looks like Jacksonville's going to end up taking the AFC South. But one division that I'm kind of looking at right now is the NFC West with Seattle, Los Angeles Rams, and San Francisco. What a division, man. You got 3 teams that have 11 wins.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're going to get all the San Francisco, the Seahawks, and the Rams are all going to get into the playoffs. Wow. Like that, it's pretty impressive.
And there's still a lot of meaning in the games that they have left. San Francisco plays the Bears on Sunday night. I mean, you want to talk about a good game.
That's a huge game. Yeah. Huge game.
And Seattle playing Carolina. Carolina's got everything to lose.
You know what?
To win the division, they have to win and then beat Tampa Bay in the final week of the season. So there's a lot at risk for both teams. I mean, they got to be in San Francisco and the Seahawks got to bring it. And I think the Rams. I don't even know the Rams play the Saints or.
The Rams play. Let's see who they got. We got the. Let me look at this.
I mean, it wasn't. I didn't think it was anything that was.
The Rams play the Falcons.
That's right.
On Monday night.
Falcons, defensively, but Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
Never count Kirk Cousins out, especially if he's in contract year. I mean, that guy, when he needs to make money, he certainly knows how to make money. Probably the best businessman in the NFL.
You know, they paid him $40 million to be the backup behind Michael Penix, and I mean, good thing they did.
Yeah,
because he's starting now.
I know, and Penix, you know, I know when I followed Penix as a college player. I mean, when he was at Indiana, his knee was completely blown out.
Yeah,
and then he did it again, and now a third time with an ACL injury. That's a lot, man.
kind of like Tua with like the concussions, and God, I don't even want to talk about his contract. Wow.
Yeah, the Tua dislocated hip before he came in. I mean, like we said last week, I think Tua was an overrated. The tank for Tua, I just couldn't even understand that.
Yeah,
you know, Justin Herbert was to me head and shoulders the best quarterback in the draft.
Justin Herbert, one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL right now, is like 6'5", 6'6", 235, 40 pounds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's an athlete. I mean, he's a true athlete at the quarterback position. You know, he's not Josh Allen, but you know, he's not far off either.
You're right. He isn't a Josh Allen, but he's not far. You're right. He's still, I believe, top 5 quarterback in the league, top 6, 7, top 5 quarterback, right on the hinge there. So.
Yeah. Some of the throws he made last week, you know, I mean, just dropping him in buckets. I mean, these guys it was just running under, and again, without any big name receivers other than Keenan Allen, who we talked about last week being a third down machine. But you know, that's let's Seattle, stay with Seattle, Carolina. You know, Bryce Young, Dowdell. I mean, they move the ball. Carolina can definitely, you know, still, they showed that they're probably most improved team.
Yeah, for sure.
From last year.
And you know what? No, in the beginning of the year, if you asked people honestly, do you think Carolina has a chance? Nobody thought Carolina was good. They thought Bryce Young was a complete bust. He was the #1 overall pick out of Alabama a few years back. You know, to me, I thought Carolina was done. And then, a little bit of Tampa Bay imploding, but a little bit of Carolina playing great defense, and Bryce Young has looked great. Carolina has a good defense, a good young quarterback, and they're starting to believe. And, you just hit it right on the head. Seattle against Carolina, that's huge. If Seattle is fighting for the #1 overall seed in the NFC, Carolina's fighting for their playoff lives. If they win, then they all but secured a playoff spot. But if they lose, that Week 18 game against Tampa Bay would be for the division. That's going to be for everything.
Yeah. And, the Sam Darnold, the mystery of Sam Darnold continues. I mean, we know that he, for 3 quarters last week, was terrible. But then in the fourth quarter, when it mattered, they were down 16, down 14. He put 16 points on the board, and they turn around and they win. It's a freak 2-point conversion, but
the 2-point conversion, that was probably the craziest play I've ever seen.
I mean, because that guy Chardonnay, when he grabbed the ball, he went to walk it over to the ref, and he crosses the goal line, and they had 2 points, and it's a tie score.
He had no intention in his head thinking.
No, nobody did. Everybody everybody. If you looked, everybody stopped playing, and good for the coaches for being heads up.
Yeah, good for Seattle. It is kind of cool. It's refreshing to kind of see the old Legion of Doom memories coming back, or Legion of Boom, and the 12th man in Seattle. So, Seattle, man, they talk about a defense, man. In that place, it's so hard to play in Seattle. So that's
their back end is strong. They got 2 good corners. They got 2 good corners, and they play. Good coaching. I mean, Seattle has had really good coaching.
Mike McDonald, he was the defense coordinator in Michigan.
Detroit.
Yeah, 2021 and 2022. I think Minter came there in the championship year. But yeah, he's Jim Harbaugh disciple. Same thing with Jesse Minter, the defense coordinator for the Chargers. And yeah, Seattle, a great coach. Quarterback Sam Darnold is sometimes inconsistent, but Jackson Smith and Jigna, I think he's got 1,700 yards right now, and he's still got 2 games to go. So, I mean, he could very well be the offensive MVP in the NFC this year. And they're gonna more than likely they should have a first round bye. We'll see though. A big game today against Carolina, and then Week 18. They go and play, let's see, Seattle in Week 18, they're going to play Let's see. They play San Francisco week 18. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, so that division's still up in the air right now. It's
That's why these games for the Bears and 49ers, I mean, that's if we go to that game, Brock Purdy's looked good, man. I mean, Brock Purdy's looked good. McCaffrey, like we said last week, plays well. And I tell you what, the Kittle hamstring injury is we'll see. I mean, he's questionable for the game.
Yeah, that might hurt him a little bit.
Yeah, Kittle's a big part of their offense.
I was looking at who they have. Fred Warner. I think they got a few other players on defense that are out for the year.
Yeah, Bosa.
Joey Bosa or Nick Bosa?
Nick Bosa. Joey's in Buffalo now.
That's right.
There's a guy who could never stay healthy.
If San Francisco right now, I'm looking at who they have that's hurt right now. I just can't even imagine they what their team would be like right now. They have 2 all-pro players that are sidelined right now, and
but just think of Ayuk, who they signed for all that money, and he hasn't played since.
Yeah, what did he have? Like a knee ACL?
A bad knee injury. So it was long, and then I guess something happened in his rehab where he, kind of re-injured it. I mean, I don't know the story, but he still has. I mean, we're talking about 2 years. He's missed.
Wow.
And Pierce from Florida is a big part. The guy who got stabbed, stabbed in the mall.
Yeah, he got I do remember that. I remember reading that in the news a while back. Yeah. So that division, I think it's safe to say that the NFC West is probably the best division. You got the Rams, you got the Seahawks, and you got 49ers, the 49ers, and the 49ers are 11-4. Sitting in 3rd place in that division. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So this weekend, Baltimore, Green Bay too. That's Saturday. So Baltimore 7-8, and Pittsburgh right now is sitting at 9-6. So I was reading, I was scrolling. It says if Baltimore were to go on and beat Green Bay, and Pittsburgh loses today, if Pittsburgh were to lose this weekend,
to Cleveland. That's Cleveland 3-12.
Probably not going to happen, but
hey, listen, Pittsburgh losing DK Metcalf is a huge loss for just a huge mistake. I mean,
what was he thinking?
I have no idea what he was thinking. I mean, you don't punch a fan in the face and think you're going to get away with it on national TV.
And what did they? He's suspended for 2 games.
2 games. So the rest of the season.
The rest of the season.
I mean, it's nice to have him for the playoffs, but I mean, you turn around and you punch somebody in the face. I mean, let's go. You try to, I think football teams are built on culture. And Mike Tomlin always has had a great culture in Pittsburgh. They were a class act, they were a class organization. And when you do stupid things like that, you just wonder, just like when what's that, Brown, Antonio Brown. I mean, first of all, Antonio Brown lost his marbles. I mean, when he was starting to do FaceTime in during the meetings in the locker room, you knew he was losing his mind. And I felt Tomlin was losing his locker room when that happened, because that just doesn't happen on his watch.
No.
But the bottom line is it proved over the next couple of weeks that Antonio Brown was just bat blank crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of fall from grace to talk about that. So Pittsburgh without DK, that's a huge loss. I mean, thank God they do get him back.
Thank goodness they play Cleveland.
Thank goodness they play Cleveland too. So if Pittsburgh's gonna by default, it looks like if they beat Cleveland come Sunday, then they're gonna end up taking the AFC North. And it looks like they're going to be able to kind of rest Aaron Rodgers and the rest of those vets, for the last game of the season against Baltimore, because it's going to be meaningless. So,
and they get T.J. Watt back. I mean, that's a big.
Wow, I didn't know that either. Wow.
Yeah, he's due back. So, I mean, again, that the Pittsburgh will take the North, the South. The Jacksonville, Jacksonville, Houston. I think 2 teams are coming out of there. And the AFC, let's not forget New England. New England's only got 2 games left.
Yeah,
the Jets and the Dolphins. Like, you couldn't ask for an easier walk in the park to end your season. And and Denver. Denver's got. Denver's win this week was a good. That's a good win against Kansas City. Obviously,
that was a big win.
And I know that they play the Chargers, I think, in the final week of the season. So
wow, they do week 18. It's the Los Angeles. You got the Chargers at the Broncos Wow, that's going to be the week of January.
Yeah, that's the last game of the
week
season.
18. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
and they played their second to last game yesterday. So again, it comes down to, for the Chargers, they've got to win to maintain and stay in, and the Broncos should take it. But New England has a legit chance to be the number one seed.
Yeah, they do. They would. I think they still need a little help from Denver. Denver would have to drop one of their last games, and like you just said, Denver does play. Los Angeles. Wow. So that the more I look at that game, that's going to be a huge game. It's going to be the Chargers, Denver. That's going to be for the number one seed. That's gonna
absolutely.
Be
I mean, because New England's going to not. I don't feel New England's going to lose to. New England's definitely not losing to the Jets. And they're not going to lose to the Dolphins. I just don't. I think both teams, the Jets and Dolphins, have put in their requests for the golf. For the golf course, because they're both terrible. It's going to be a retool for them on the offseason. So So New England, Denver. Those are the two teams to watch out for in the AFC.
That's interesting. So if the Chargers, who have everything to play for in Week 18, if they go to Mile High Stadium and they beat the Broncos, that means New England will be sitting home for the whole playoffs. They'll be sitting at home. They're going to host every playoff game until they would eventually go to the Super Bowl.
And with all this, we're talking Broncos. We're talking. Whatchamacallit? What about the Bills?
Yeah, that's so. Okay, so here's my take on Buffalo. Josh Allen, as you know,
and Cook.
And Cook leads the NFL right now in rushing yards, which is so
offensively. Their strength, defensively,
they're awesome. Josh Allen, we all know what he does. MVP, could very well win it again this year. I don't think that's going to happen, but he's always in the top 3, top 2 for MVP voting. Cook this year, having a offensive, player of the year type year.
Absolutely,
it's just the defense. I do not have any confidence in that defense.
And Joey Bosa has actually played well. Losing Oliver as their tackle, Ed Oliver was a big loss because you can run against Buffalo. You definitely can run against Buffalo, and on the back end, they're very Jordan Poyer bringing him back. I think that's their strength in the back, and Jordan Poyer's long in the tooth, and so Buffalo. They have done is score 40 points to win 40 to 35. You know what I mean? That's the games that they've had because their defense is to win. We talk about offense wins games, defense wins championships. That's not the defense that's going to win a championship. No, I don't believe. And I'm devastated because I love Buffalo.
Yeah, and the thing is, people love watching Buffalo because they put up like 30, 35, 40 points a game, it seems like, and they're Josh Allen always seems like he's scrambling, he's making highlight reel plays. A lot of that has to do with their trying to keep up with the other team scoring because the defense sometimes is getting gashed out there. So I like Buffalo. I like them maybe as like a possibly winning like a wild card, but I just don't see them going that deep in the playoffs. I feel like the Denvers and the New Englands in the world.
Yeah, and you know what? And all I can do is hope because I do love Buffalo, and for my late mother, who was a massive Bills fan. I'm always going to be rooting for them, but I can tell you that you can't sleep on them. That's for sure.
No,
you can't sleep on them. But again, and I don't know if Drake May, as good as he's had, as good of a year as he's had, their running game is good. They again to talk about trenches, they've got a good offensive line. They do, but they've had. Their strength of schedule is the weakest in football.
I did see that. I think
the weakest in football.
I think their opponent's record this year, winning percentage, is like 33 or 34%. I didn't.
They haven't beaten anybody great. They've lost. Their losses are the Steelers. They've lost. I think they lost to. They lost to Buffalo. I think they've lost to Miami. I mean, they've lost some games and played some.
I will say this: that the last time a team that had New England sitting at 12-3. The last time a team won 12 games with that type of schedule was they compared him to the 1990 St. Louis Rams, and we know what Kurt Warner did with that team, though. They ended up going on to. So the one good thing about having a team or having to play opponents with their record so low is that you can kind of maybe sit out some of your starters in the fourth quarter. So I don't know how the injury bug is going to affect New England going forward in the playoffs, but like you just said, offensive line's playing great. Travion Henderson, the rookie running back out of Ohio State, is playing fantastic.
Okay, and again, I don't think Drake May is Kurt Warner, but I do believe Drake May is a good quarterback. I mean, he can do it with his legs. He's a great athlete.
Yeah, we
all know that he's a great athlete. I think their wideouts at wide receiver. I mean, whatchamacallit.
They do got good wideouts. A lot of times, what I'm really impressed with right now is that Drake May is this is his third year. I'm sorry, this is his second year in this offense. Josh McDaniels' offenses are not easy to run. They put a lot on the quarterback, reading that defense, going through his progression. So Drake May, second year, he's picking up the pieces pretty fast.
Yeah, no doubt. And again, that's going to be, that's the game that. I don't know. Well, let's, we're going to do something different this week. We're going to go give you our top 3 picks against the spread and see how we do and keep a mathematical chart on how good we are. And if we can make you some money, that'll be a beautiful thing. So what did we decide on the first one was we wanted who?
Okay, so I Houston and the Chargers.
Oh, that's right.
That's Saturday, Saturday night. The Chargers, they're at home. They're favored by 1.5. I'm going to go out and say I like Houston in that game with the number 1 defense. I think C.J. Stroud gets it done. I know that it's going to be a huge game, but with everything Houston has to play for right now, they could mathematically it could still win the AFC South. So I like Houston over the Chargers plus 1.5.
All right. I agree. I definitely agree. I think, although, man, I hate picking against Harbaugh, but I guess, we'll go with that one. And then we got Buffalo against Philly, and Buffalo has nothing. I mean, Philly really has nothing to play for. They've locked up the division. They can really, I think Buffalo, what is it? Buffalo's minus up 1.5?
Yeah, so we got this is the Sunday night game. Yeah, Tom, you got Philadelphia 10-5, like you just highlighted. Philadelphia.
That's Monday night?
That's Sunday night. Philadelphia versus Buffalo.
Sunday night game is Chicago, San Francisco.
Chicago, San Francisco. So back to like the Philly game, Buffalo. Like you just said, you highlighted it. Buffalo. They have a lot to play for right now. Philly all but like sealed up that division. So I would go and say Buffalo wins that game minus 1.5 in Buffalo.
Yeah, I think, Buffalo's definitely the pick. And then the third game was what? San Francisco and Chicago we decided on?
Yeah, so the third game, that's going to be, that's a Sunday night game.
Yeah.
Chicago, who should win the NFC North right now.
Yeah, I think San Francisco got way more to play for.
Absolutely. You hit the nail around the head. So San Francisco 11-4. -3. I think San Francisco
beats in
San Francisco. Levi Stadium. I think Brock Purdy and San Francisco beats.
Yeah. I think Chicago's opportunistic defense. They lead the league in takeaways. They definitely can. They're ball hawks. They can do it. But they also can give it up on the ground, and I think McCaffrey and Robinson from the Commanders. I think that it's a good 1-2 punch. I think San Francisco and I think. Hey, battle of 2 great coaches, Shanahan against Ben Johnson.
Yep. Who could be the AP Coach of the Year?
Either one of them.
Yeah, either one of them.
San Francisco, nobody thought Shanahan was going to do what they're doing, especially after losing Warner and Bosa.
Yeah.
Defensively, again, Salah's done a solid job. But so that's our 3 picks. We got San Francisco -6.
San Francisco -3 at home.
3.
I go with San Francisco. I like
Buffalo.
We like Buffalo -1.5 against Philly, and I like Houston plus 1.5 against the Chargers.
There we go. Well, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to us week 2, or I should say show number 2. And we look forward to seeing everybody next week.